Ha, those are my shoes. Ha, ha, ha. I got you good. Ha, ha. No. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. That's right, it's great to be alive. Yeah, he's here today. Here's your host, Shyzabox. Oh, is the show starting? Oh, we heard the introduction. Whoa, oh, what a welcoming sound. Oh, everybody loves us. Whoa, oh, girl, whoa, oh, good girl, get out of here. And the horse. The horse you rode in on. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome nuns and all. That's right, priests, preachers, cardinals, rabbis, weirdos with beardos, Alcoholics Anonymous, anyone who accidentally clicked on this by mistake. No takesies, backsies, your algorithms are messed up now. In the time you've been here merely alone, couple few seconds, your information's been sold at least 6-7 times, right? How it goes. What do we have there? Oh, Space Cowboy, Wolfman is everywhere. Well, believe you me, Space Cowboy, it's all subjective to interpretation, I reckon, because, believe you me, if the Wolfman is truly indeed everywhere, he's like Jesus. We're guessing it's Jesus, and he just hasn't Jesus has a beard, from what we understand. I mean, we don't know Jesus, but we know Jesus, right? Well, subjectively, obviously. I mean, you know, everyone knows Jesus, whether one knows Jesus or knows Jesus, okay? It's all subjective to interpretation. Who is that? Emma Formosa. Hello and hi. Welcome to the show. Sorry you had to experience it. Apologies in advance. How's the leprechaun play boy? You mean play girl? Whoa, Space Cowboy. Don't change the terms on us now. Hey, leave Space Cowboy alone. Hey, K-Money. We call the show officially to order. Whoa. Hold on, where were we? No, don't celebrate us losing our place. It's messed up. Did we apologize for last stream yet? No. Okay, let's do it now. Sorry about that. All right, good. Forgive and forget, right? Let bygones be bygones. Weren't we just talking about Jesus, right? If you know Jesus, like, forgive people and stuff, right? We can have bad episodes and off days. Explain every day. We can't explain every day. If we explained every day, we wouldn't have tomorrow. Obviously. Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment or lack thereof. Everything's fine. What? Read a poem from our poetry book at the end of the show if you're good. That's right. We all look forward to it every day. You found a pot of gold last night. Well, go buy some of our books. The hell are you doing here? Space Cowboy, what did we need? 400 grand for that Playgirl? Slide that over to our Cashapp, okay? Link in the description. We'll hold on to it. Obviously, we'll crank out some iteration of Playgirl Leprechaun or something like that, right? To appease the founders, right? And we're not going to say they're going to be happy with the end result, but let's be honest, Space Cowboy. No one was going to be happy with the end result, no matter what it was. We're making a Leprechaun Playgirl? Bankruptcy, right? It's got to be a fully funded, out the gate endeavor from the start. If we're going to have a calendar, believe you me, we're not paying for it. We can't even pay for a roof. We can only afford to pay to have our shirt. Where is our uniform shirt? Oh, yeah, it's at the laundromat. They only send laundry out so often. Our mom's busy at her second job. She can't buy it. It's Operator Kev. Buy a book, cowboy. Okay, money. We don't like to peddle that of our wares further than that of peddling our wares, but, you know, I mean, there are some options out there. We're just saying, okay? We're just saying. No, man, they all suck. All those options suck. We're not saying they're good options. Did we say they were good? We said, the sooner everyone gives us money, the more of it we'll have. No, obviously, we joke, we kid. Everything aside, money is indeed that of a construct. Everything from subscriptions to upvotes to downvotes. Downvote us harder, daddy. We don't care, right? We have already formalized, done, and proven that of, our theory. So now we get to hang out and have fun, or lack thereof. Subjective, right? Everything here's for philosophical entertainment, and that of one's subjective understanding and or lack thereof at one's own subjective interpretations of what is to be understood as entertainment, dissemination of informations, data, technologies, literary endeavors and practices, theologies, beliefs. It's opinionated crap, right? Across the board. And because we know the show's not good, obviously, that's why we called Daryl Dixon of the dibs on being best of the worst internet celebrities there is, right? There's a difference between telling people they're gonna like the show versus letting them know up front what they're gonna get. Crap, right? Now, believe you me, just because the show's crap doesn't mean the people don't make it better, okay? Here's where the fun comes in. We're like, sell-out shill, right? We do it fast, really, really quickly. We'll flip on a dime. It's the philosophy of SLC punk from that of the 1990s. Where it indeed truly is known that you don't sell out, you buy in. That's right. And we'll do it in a heartbeat. Believe you me. It's how the show can be better. It's not a good show. Don't look to the host for entertainment. Whoa, 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 whoa. You look to that of having fun with the individuals that are more funly. I don't know, whatever. Let's see these ones of chat we're missing. All right, you found a pot of gold. Yes, yes, we covered that one already. When we reread the same comment over and over, it's like there's more of them that exist, and it pads out the show. It's like, oh, he must have more than just one's a viewer. He must have, there's at least 2-3 people there. Fantastic. Why would I want to buy your book? Space Cowboy, you wouldn't. All joking aside, unless you need a note-taking journal, okay, now believe you me, no one needs an officially endorsed live stream note-taking journal, okay? It's not a necessity in any way, shape, or form, okay? You can use scratch paper, you can get a journal or a book that's far cheaper, but theoretically, you ask, we tell you, why would you buy one of our books? Well, this one you would buy it's blank pages. It's literally a journal, all right? You would buy this one to utilize as a note-taking journal or repurpose it for anything else that you want, right? You can also theoretically buy our books as gifts. Now, people get bad gifts all the time, so it doesn't matter. It's going to be a bad gift. But maybe, you have to go to an office Christmas party or, a dirty Santa or something like that. You buy one of our books, you give them that. You don't have to interact with these people for another 6 months, almost guaranteed. They're like, God, I looked into who this Shyzabox guy was, and believe you me, he never had a formalized physics class. I can't associate with such garbage. Say additionally as well, why would you buy our books? Well, theoretically, say you have a niece, a nephew, a kid, a significant other within which you like to leave little notes or things like that in their lunch boxes, their pockets, their briefcases, whatever, right? We have a quick lunch note series, all right? There's a variety of offerings. Here's a couple of them. When I can't love, when I can't sport. Okay, say you got a kid that plays sports, and you wake up 10 minutes late to get out the door for school, okay? Well, no time to write little Johnny a little pep note for that of his sports day. You buy our book, it doesn't matter if it gets destroyed, because F this book. It's one of our books. Most of them get destroyed. It's like, hey, this table's wobbling. Grab that Shyzabox book over there. Let's balance this shiznit, right? I mean, we know our role. Say the book's too big. That's where these ones are perfect. You rip out these little things, okay? This is for like on a test day. I hope that all your testing was a quick run for you, okay? I mean, they're little sports kids. They run and stuff, right? You don't got time to leave a note. You get this book. You rip this page out. You put it in their lunchbox. You love them, okay? Now, just because it's not handwritten doesn't mean that you can't keep things all inclusively. We have blank pages that you can write your own note in the back. Hey, you whip that out. It's all inclusive. This is 2026 we're in now. Well, we got a variety of offerings, so when you ask, why would you buy our book? I mean, it might not be a good purchase, but those are reasons why. Additionally, if you wanted to learn anything about advanced meta philosophy or that of this nature, then we did monograph out of the term lectin, which is a dead philosophical term of a term that means a word which encompasses that of what does not exist or that of what can be to exist and or not exist. It's a non-existent term for a word of a term that in essence represents a non-sayable. Okay? It can represent a phrase, a grouping of words, a metric, and or an interpretation thereof, any version or iteration. Now, again, it's fairly advanced metaphysics and meta-philosophy and things of that nature, so do you even philosophy, bro? Because we do ourselves, maybe not well, arguably, but we do risk it for the biscuit and bold of the claim on the internet cottons to voice that of what we voice. Additionally, on top of that, we've already proven our theory and point, okay? Well, how? We moved a metric kernel of data from Kaggle to Web3, okay? In essence, and now this metaphor represents exactly what we did, but we haven't formalized it yet, and we just got the idea. Okay, Money, you'll love this. I think that we're going to have a live stream where we're going to let all of the viewers, all ones of them, name and formalize that of, you get to name Shyzabox's tunnel. Metaphysically, in a representation vernacularly, we quantum tunneled our metric Kaggle, okay, our metric kernel of data on Kaggle from a Web 2 environment to a Web 3 via a little tiny bridge, okay? Now, you can audit our math, you can audit the entire metric kernel of data, because it's on our micro-sovereign blockchain. Link in the descriptification makes it easy. So why you would buy our book in that regard is because you want to get some thermodynamic enlightenment at a price tag. But here's the thing, okay? Don't buy this book. Do not buy this book. It is very expensive, and believe you me, not worth it. Information's free, knowledge is free, right? But it's an intelligence paradox, right? Both of those are warranted, because it doesn't matter which way you go. We already proved our theory. We don't got to prove it anymore. You may dislike it. You may not like us. You may not like any of what we do. You may find us very offensive and abrasive. We get it, Ma. You told us at breakfast. You don't need to keep reiterating it on that of a daily basis. Believe you me. Repeating it every year since childhood has sunk in. We know our place. We're garbage. It's all for subjective entertainment, philosophical entertainment at best. Everything's fine. What? Read a poem from our poetry book at the end of the show. Yes, we're all looking forward to it. No, we're saying end the show. What? Don't tell better jokes than us. It's not allowed. Hold on. We always forget that part. It is allowed. It makes the show better. Tell better jokes than us all the time. We haven't had any yet, but when we come up with one, we're going to let you know when that joke slides in somewhere. Believe you me, it's coming. They're laughing at you. What? Thing I'm buying is that Leprechaun Playgirl. Well, that's right, you're buying it. You're not only buying it, Space Cowboy, you're funding it. Convert that pot of gold and slide that stuff into our Cashapp. We already told you. Tasman Butler. Well, of course we remember you. Tasman, we probably go back ones of stream from a while back. Now, Tasman, we're lying. Okay? But we're not. It sounds familiar, but we really don't. We haven't until recently started reading usernames. That's our bad. Okay? So, like, we're bad with names. We like to think that no matter what, everyone's comment counts, so no matter who says it, it should be read. Okay? We don't have super chat. Well, I mean, we don't even set that up. We don't do any of that. We want everyone to have their fair chance, their fair shake, and we try and strive to hit every single comment because, let's be honest, what is it? Tasman, we can call you Tasman, right? No, of course we can. You aren't Teabag, are you? Teabag, is that you? You look different today. If you're Teabag, we remember you. Tasman, were you here when we were drinking tea that night? Sometimes we have nightcaps with tea. There's one night we had mint medley. Not good. I mean, it's a good tea. Not what we wanted. Yes. By an emoji face and K-Money coming in with the goods. Audit Shyza, that's right. We don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the science. We don't hide behind anything like that. You can go to the micro-sovereign blockchain right now, the IPFS site. Wait your turn, because, you know, you can go and actually look. We got, the images and posters up there, whatever. We got the physics of the sovereign, kind of object and the bipolar fusion. And check out the math for that of the trifilar helical weave. Believe you me, you make this bad boy magnetically center that wire, up and running. We have that of the tax notebook, taxes RBS. You can, of course, go see the math for yourself, but, that's on the site and such, or whatever. It's the taxes RBS. Everyone's overpaying U.S.-based about $2,000 to float a administrative state, okay? Don't celebrate that. It sucks. Okay? Literally $2,000 to float that of an administrative state. All right? We pulled all the metrics and data from that of the national grid. So feel free to audit us. It's on the IPFS site. As well up there, unfortunately, you will not find the Meatball on Mondays guy because, the site's already too big and we've had issue and we'll see how it pans out. But, Meatballs on Mondays, you can go check out. It's our buddy's book. He wrote that one. It's really awesome. It's kids that always eat meatballs on Monday. It's like a big mystery. It's a kid's book. But we helped our buddy put that one out. We helped him put out a couple books here and there when he asked us to. And we've been sitting on a manuscript of his for a while. So hopefully that little plug will buy him a little more time to let us keep being lazy of sorts, right? Don't celebrate that. It's not good for the channel. You can see that of the planetary motherboard. That's on there. A little bit of a more understanding and things of that nature of how we utilize Lithic Logic over that of what we deem PDF logic. Current culture within which to household and maintain that of the structuring of data as a prioritization over that of the speed and erasure of data as Landauer permits and utilizes. Okay. Now Landauer is correct when you're utilizing speed to erase data and you're causing all that heat and entropy, right? Thermodynamics, right? Who is that? Myth Gal, you're crazy. We are crazy. Crazy awesome. No, you're crazy dumb. Who's that? Myth Gal? Here's the craziest thing that we can tell you right now, all right? We're so crazy that we say, theoretically, we have solved Nikola Tesla's 369, okay? Oh, very crazy, all right? Here's our massive equation for you to do in our craziness. 1 divided by 7. Okay? Answer within which that of 369, ironically, does not exist.
Mine says there's a 9 at the end.
That's because it rounded up, sweetie. But you can see that of the submerged Azure's plateau and whatnot, that yields a 92% geothermal efficiency to that of powering and harboring and maintaining the Earth grid.
Downvote on my way out, I hate you.
We understand. Crap, maybe that's the one on there with ancient logic. We don't know, we don't remember now. We were just on there earlier too. But alas, it doesn't matter, alright? We should put that one back on there. Maybe an iteration is the Sarsen test. ASTM C597 on the Sarsen Core 58 stone sample. You know, we got all that stuff on there. It's on the IPFS site. We already did what we do. We know we skipped chats to get to that craziness, but believe you me, that stuck out. That's crazy. But the Joeys are taking the taxes. Disgusting. They need to keep their hands out of our wallets, our pockets, our accounts, and our lives. It's not polite. What state are you from? We're not from any state. Ironically, we've lived all over the place, okay? That's right. ShyzaShank is all over the place. We've lived out west, we've lived out east, we've lived up north and down south at least. We lived in Europe, we've lived abroad, we've even lived in Italy for a nod, right? Small nod. We lived here, we've lived there, we've lived almost everywhere. Right now we're in a box. By a box, we mean a metaphysical box without a ceiling. Now, ironically, Shyzabox don't need no ceiling to quantum tunnel wherever you want to go. Oh, whoa. We don't have a formalized physics class, so we don't listen to dumb shit. I guess. Now, hold on. Landauer is correct. Yes. It's been proven correct. Hey. It's correct for a broken system. We're done with the broken. Believe you me, we're done with absurdity. It's absurd. We may be absurd. It had to go somewhere. Either society's absurd or we have to be. One or the other. That's absurd. Dumb stuff is subjective. K-Money with the save. That is correct. That is very correct. Yes. You know, maybe broken, obviously subjective as well. So then it comes down to that of a line in the sand argument. You're either on one side of it or the other. You either agree with one aspect or another. We hear every time that we talk to someone that academics is broken, history's a lie, we've been lied to, timeline's false, incorrect. You know, so which is it? Crazy Shyzabox. Crazy broken world. It's crazy what choices you're left with. We choose neither. Well, you live in either. Remember, a self-system cannot observe that of its own metric of gain. So when all these flock cameras popped up overnight, it's like, where'd all these come from? They were already up. Okay? These are fly-by-night operations, theoretically, for philosophical entertainment or lack thereof. Okay? I'm telling you, it's a prioritization of the speed and erasure of data within which a broken system operates. If you structure the data of the grid, okay, internally to where you prioritize that of the structuring, you don't have that entropy and runoff and dissipation that Landauer describes. Therefore, it's negotiable and it is disposable logic, okay? It is a choice, okay? All right, now we never had a formalized physics class, so it's easy for us to make that of the second law of thermodynamics disposable. Not a lot of people can accept that, especially teachers, professors, or anything thereof. But if you literally utilize eigenvalues to stabilize that of the grid itself, okay? And you reuse and reinterpret Fiedler to interact with Landauer, and you don't prioritize the speed and erasure of data, yet rather prioritize that of how it's structured, I'm telling you, beyond that of what could be construed non-empirically validated, which it is not. We are not empirically validated. We cannot state that enough. Okay? We never had a formalized physics class, so it's easy for us to be able to decouple illogical mechanisms and mechanics of mechanical physics, okay, to that of what is subjective in metaphysics and what is non-existent physics, okay? We literally utilize that of a Shyzabox bridge extension to David Deutsch's constructor theory, whether it's a novel extension or not, okay? It allows for reversible computing, okay? Not only that, using a trinary code and script, you can utilize that at virtually Carnot efficiency. Binary code is very good where it is very good, but trinary and trinary code outperforms as should. It's like wrestling 3 people against 2, okay? You get that extra body in there, you're able to work just a little harder. You can do a little more, theoretically, when all, you know, is on that of even field. Okay, if you have a 1, a 1, a 1, and a 1, and they're both pulling a rope, and they are the exact same ones, and you add another 1 to one side, guess what? That side's going to pull just a little bit more. Okay, that's our novel extension, little novel extension, okay? Not empirically validated as of whenever. Thing is that it exists. Not only does it exist, it's auditable right now. Go check it yourself. We don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the science. And unlike other developers, other independent researchers, everybody in this society is trying to make a buck. We know money is a construct because we aren't scientists. We aren't mathematicians. We aren't any of these physicists, okay? They are far smarter and better than we. We are merely that of philosophers that happen to be very, 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 very decent at metaphysics, okay? And metaphysics is very, 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 very crazy. Therefore, we're crazy. You're right. Who was that? Meath Gal, that's probably the smartest thing anyone said all day. Way smarter than us. Believe you me, we are not perfect. That's God's job. Okay? When we utilize our interpretations of anything from a physics and metaphysics perspective, we never had a formalized physics class, so it's very, very, very easy for us to remove stumbling blocks that are logical fallacies and that of mankind's logic within which we have, as we feel, been misinterpreting as a species, as mankind, for theoretically quite some time, since theoretically that of the mud flood fallout and or the reconstruction thereafter, where they intentionally theoretically switched stuff because they misinterpreted the reapplication of even former technologies from the old planetary motherboard and grid, theoretically for philosophical entertainment and or a very lack thereof. If that of the planetary motherboard existed, okay, which we mapped out, it does. We already Shaw-sealed it, Shaw-centered it, okay? No takesies, backsies, can't be undone. We topologically align to that of the entire Earth to create the Earth motherboard, that of Göbekli Tepe, Stonehenge, the Giza Pyramids. It results in that of the Azures Plateau, yielding a 92% geothermal efficiency and the geothermal and magnetic differentials of the Earth to utilize and act as the entire Atlantis Massif. Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment, and ironically, Shaw-sealed and mathematically, audit that stuff for yourself. Let's see this one's of chat we missed. Sorry for that. Religion is for dummies. Well, John Doe, we disagree. Believe you me, Please cite that of how religion is for dummies when that of theological is what confines the adherence to society standards within which we morally deem to apply that of ourselves. Every country has that of a moral foundation on which in it lies, which is deductively, theoretically, deduced and extracted from that of a theological basis and or belief, whether it's from one extreme to another, whether it's the Mayans doing ritualistic sacrifice and or Judaism practicing their form of the brisket circumcision routine versus that of anywhere else, all right? It's an adherent to a principle belief in a system that is derived from religion and that of. So if religion is for dummies, that of intelligence is for dummies, and then, I guess you're correct. Because everyone's dumb, so yes. Religion is for dummies because religion then theoretically is that of a construct. Now one may adhere to the same principles, beliefs, and practices, I guess ironically, that anyone else could, but believe you me, for argument's sake, it's just easier to lump it together. Okay? Now, you may disagree and say it's for dummies, but when you have that of, the formalization of what could be construed as subjective understandings therein, it is very, very much better for society to have an adherence to some form of moral caliber of standard, theoretically, in our opinion, okay, than that of not. Because believe you me, whilst one may desire that of an anarchistic society and that of no morals and very loose foundations, believe you me, it ends up structuring itself into that of the principal belief system of one individual and or ruler overhead. Eventually, right? Gotta be a king of the dog pile somewhere. If not God, then whom dost thou wish it to be that ruleth over thyself? You wisheth another man to rule over you? Interesting. Theoretically, if religion is for dummies, and there is no God, then who is that of thine's ruler? You may say no one, but within whom do you answer? Because for surely we don't answer to you yourself, theoretically, okay, just being Shyzabox advocate, okay, we don't answer to you, so you are not that of our God, so surely we deem thee not as a God. So if religion is dumb, and the principal belief in that of a system or structure adherence to a moral fabric and or foundation is, illogical in nature and principle, and that of no moral foundation should exist, I mean, I don't want to live there. Theoretically, I mean, for philosophical entertainment or lack thereof, it doesn't sound fun. Guarantee you they don't have SpongeBob. I mean, we don't know. We're guessing. Oh, no, they probably have SpongeBob. I don't know. We don't know. But yeah, religion is dumb. That would be subjective to one's interpretation and or belief. We ourselves adhere to that of the Catholic faith, but we like to branch out and discover that of anything within which theoretically or theology-based would account for that of one's understanding, knowledge, and or interpretation of that of religion, okay? That's why after we read the Bible, we read the Quran, we read the Book of Mormon, we read the Torah, we've read a variety and iteration of religious texts we do all the time as we find them very interesting. Most notably of recent is the Religions of the World, retouching base with that of more Buddhist, Hinduist, and animalism and things of that nature, okay? Believe you me, interesting stuff. But again, all subjective in nature, and yeah, if religion is dumb, then I guess those with whom have placated that of their endeavors, means, and ends to which have pursued that of religion and that of their works, beliefs, and or entire lives, placated by that of not only consistent, I guess, accreditations to them, I guess, and consistent, hey, you're doing a good job, pats on back. I think you might find yourself on a losing end of an argument. You might want to reevaluate how you address that of religion and maybe change the vernacular usages to something of an adherence there to belief systems, ideologies, okay? Because believe you me, unless you're a member of a religion attacking another religion, you're standing on your own, okay? These are groups of people we're talking about, okay? Unless it's like okay, if you're like walking down the street and there's a street preacher, all right, you can roll that dude, theoretically, okay? Some dude, he's like a homeless guy like us, sitting on a street corner, he's like preaching like, repent now, right? You take that guy. He probably hasn't eaten in a few days, wearing a tinfoil hat. You never know. Let's see these ones in chat, though, that we're missing. Oh, wow. Lots of ones of chat. All right, hold on. The Moors were in charge for Tartarians before we took their land and buildings. Again, that's subjective. Ask that to Google, and Google says that is not correct. Okay, ask that of Tartarian Empire, and they say it's a loose conglomeration, okay, of a bunch of individualistic tribes. Okay, now we're not saying you are wrong. Okay, but I'm telling you that you Google it. Okay, look up that of the Tartarian Empire, and there is subjective interpretation riddled throughout all of that there is. You cannot placate an argument about religion being dumb when you cite the Moors as a ruling class, right? Theoretically, huh? We're not experts. No, it's a fact. Well, I don't know. We're way off. Remember, you guys are way ahead of us in the chat. Don't celebrate that. It throws off the show. You're just ignorant to the knowledge. What knowledge? It seems subjective from what we have heard so far. Just saying. K-Money comes in with negative. We don't even know what we're talking about. I have the receipts. You don't. Okay, hold on. Show the receipts. Excellent. Perfect. Yes. Morelli's written on her heart. Morality is written on our heart. Without religion, we would still be good to each other. Are you arguing morality over religion? Okay, fair enough. Hold on. Stop before we read more. I mean, I know that you guys are way further in your conversations, but we're taking stuff in stride. Remember, a system can't witness its own gain, and we're going to gain the show here, while any dissemination and forethought, that's all, that hasn't happened yet, even though it has, ironically, okay? Metaphysics is crazy, okay? If we are going to divide religion from morality, okay, and that of an argument, that is a very, 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 we feel, in our opinion, not good way to start that of conversation, okay? Because religions, in their own forms and iterations thereof, adhere to and ascribe to their own practices and principle beliefs and things of that nature, all right, you are never going to have a universal alignment in everyone's understanding. However, they are all tied to that of one's moral beliefs. Okay? Because moral beliefs differ, and one may morally find it right to, I don't know, off that of their offspring, and justify it, and placate their minds for such with a, well, scientifically 1% of this happened. Okay? That is a moral argument. Who gets to make that? Who gets to divide that of what morality is from that of what religion is, because no one can subjectively interpret one to either a full understanding of what either can be. Therefore, the separation and distinction of a decoupling thereof is no more relevant than a recoupling on the other side. Wherein is the argument, okay? Let's not argue about what an inherent subjective belief system is, what not an inherent subjective interpretation of a moral foundation is, okay? We like to use not PDF logic where people are writing stories on the Moors and writing PDFs on the Tartarians in a variety of iterations thereof, okay? And it's the moops, right? People misinterpret stuff all the time. It's not the moops, it's the Moors. No, it's the moops. The card says moops. That's a typo. Did you hear what happened to the bubble boy? They are all subjective, and if you're trying to decouple that of what can recouple and affixate itself and that of everyone else's principled universal knowledge and belief structuring thereof, then you are having to fight 2 or 3 arguments before you even start what you're trying to start as one. Because in principle, even in moral foundations and beliefs, one may adhere to them in private. Even if you are getting responses and reactions from people face to face, they're probably thinking to themselves, not Shyzabox, but rather that of thyself may indeed be construed as that of the crazy one. Theoretically, we're not saying that we're not the crazy one, okay? Because metaphysics is crazy, whatever. We can be Diogenes, living in our mom's basement, coming around, shining that of a light around the daytime internet, looking for an honest man, okay? We're never going to find one. We can even shine the light of ourselves under the light, okay? We are not that of an honest man either. We could be lying to you straight up. Maybe we didn't monograph lectin in this book right here in front of us that we monograph lectin in, okay? Maybe that of our computation and our math and our theory is wrong. Audit it. Okay? You say you come with the receipts, drop that of thine Kaggle notebook, drop that of your scientific research, drop that of your mathematical formulation thereof, formalize that of what is moral, and I will formalize that of what is a Shyzalosophical closed Gödelian loop within which operates on vector equilibrium in a cubo-octahedronal matrix, okay? And we will pull and extract the data from that of the elicited arguments, and we can talk about it all day long. Ironically, not all day. We got other stuff to do. You know, Shyzabox does shit too, you know what I mean? We are not saying we do it well, but you need to be very careful because Shyzabox is a bridge that literally uses Carnot efficiency, okay, in a P3 to B to K3 formula, okay? Whether it's empirically validated or not, that of which exists. We already moved a metric kernel of data from Kaggle to Web3. Have at it, brother. All right, but yeah. All right, show receipts, written on the heart. Yes, again, subjective. Everyone is God experiencing itself through its eyes. Again, John Doe, we are not saying that you are wrong, okay? And there are accounts when you start looking into that of philosophy with the lithos and the logos and that of the ego and that of what the being is. And if you start getting into Confucianism and Hinduism and Buddhism and this, that, and the other, believe you me, Eastern philosophy is very, 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 very complicated. And we state all the time on this show, and we used to not. We used to entertain that of the ideas. But believe you me, John Doe, if you're at that interpretation and understanding thereof, then the dissemination of such, going in at about it, the way within you have, your enlightenment ceases to be enlightened because you are cutting it off at the source and trying to disseminate that of what you already know. If that of yourself is witnessing that through your own eyes within which you witness, you need not speak through that of your mouth, and if you have ears, you better listen. I forgot, religion is dumb. Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment, Buddhism, a religion. Hinduism, a religion. Animalism, a religion. These are the religions of the world, and Eastern philosophy, we don't spend time here because, believe you me, Eastern philosophy is one of the hardest bridges to gain traction thereon. We still reread Dogen time and time and time and time again because Eastern philosophy is fucking hard. Okay? We do not entertain it on the show because bridging that gap in understanding takes forever. People climb mountains and study under people, theoretically, not theoretically, okay? If we've read The Art of War, we've read the Tao Ching and stuff, all right? We've read all those. We've read Way of the Samurai. We've placated ourselves with a variety of Eastern texts, okay? Especially if you start going into, you know, kind of the Eastern there and stuff, but you start going into, like, you know, the Mahabharata and all of that stuff, too. I mean, we've read all that stuff as well, all right? Religion bridges that of Eastern philosophy for many, okay? They're called the mysteries, okay? Your dissemination thereof, and like we said, we're not saying you're wrong, okay? Subjective, right? We're not saying you're wrong, but you cannot argue and force energy and things into a state that it does not want to be in. You cannot demand someone else adhere to or ascribe to your beliefs and moral foundations and purposes, theoretically. Okay? That's how Landauer works. That's how modern computing, that's how PDF logic works in society. Okay? Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment or lack thereof. Everything's fine. What? Poem from our poetry book? End of the show if you're good. That's right. We all look forward to it. No matter how you approach it, there are a lot of components and things to that of one's own understanding, and disseminating that in a unstable metric and unstable state. It is exactly how that of the PDF logic environment works. Okay, you cannot force data. You cannot be like, hey, religion is for dummies. Okay, and then you're actually talking to a bunch of dummies. Okay, theoretically, and they're like, well, we're a member of this religion, and you're trying to force your beliefs into a state that don't want it. No external fact can contradict a closed-loop system. I repeat, no external fact can contradict a closed-loop system, okay? That's why computationally, and very, very important, we SHA-sealed all of our data, okay? We SHA-sealed that of the planetary motherboard, okay, the Giza pyramids, everything like that, okay, Stonehenge, and the Azures Plateau, all right, that act as the Atlantis Mastiff, all right, for that 92% geothermal efficiency. It's in the descriptification. Audit it, okay? We don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the science. We don't cover our papers saying Shyzabox wants the next big discovery, because it don't matter. Where we go one, we truly go all right? Money is a construct. Upvotes are a construct. That of even downvotes is that of a construct to that of dear old Shyzabox, okay? Can money make our lives better? Can money make anything better? No, not necessarily, and yes, necessarily at the same time. Money is a representation of what is entropy in that of the world. It is a fair, equitable exchange of that of heat, or what could be construed thereof. It is the blood, sweat, and tears within which one agrees to interact with another entity and or being to reciprocally get something of that would happen under a barter system in a traditional metric and or in an anarchistic system of someone taking something from whoever else had it. Money is the entropy that balances the act within which someone can say, hey, mow my yard and I'll give you $100. Okay? Now, how did the person get the $100? Well, through that of their work, whether it was their physical labor, their mental labor, or labor therein, whether it was given to them. Okay? Doesn't matter. It's a construct thereof, okay, that works in that capacity. The same it works in the capacity of, hey, here's this $100 we got from it, doesn't matter. To give to you for, inevitably, it doesn't matter unless I'm working under an HOA confinement and I'm getting fined every time my lawn ain't cut. Okay? All right, let's check these ones in chat. We get very divergent and we mean not. All right. All right. You have no idea what the Tartarians believed in. Again, subjective, and we would agree that there is not even a universality as of yet. Now, it might be getting closer in some regards and aspects here and there. There's not a universal agreement as far as Tartarians, as far as we are aware and or are aware. Okay? We have read far too many texts, and believe you me, we go hard into the paint on as many old texts as we can. Hell. You see these channels all the time, or whatever, that have all their old books and stuff like that places. We don't do that because it don't matter. And believe you me, we have too many of them, all right, to even entertain the idea of trying to make a little display with them. It doesn't matter, all right? It's all subjective to that of one's interpretations, beliefs, and or ideas of what is knowledge, how valuable knowledge can be, and what it can be utilized for. It's all subjective to interpretation. You can go look at it, I mean, whatever, you know, no one knows until they know. And then again, books could be wrong. Hell, we know that. We've written some. Sorry about that. Pickle Punk Philosophy ain't wrong. That was awesome. Oh, believe you me, Delectable definitely is not wrong. Do not buy this book. K-Money, we're still waiting for, we know not what come. Very interesting, and very, very curious in our own regard on what conversations are being had behind the curtains. We don't know. We don't know.
I'm here for Dolly's brownies.
Oh, bless. It is unfortunate Dolly Parton, of course, has, gone from that of this world. That's right. Yes. Very horrible. Yeah, and it sucks. So we did venture out, all right, amongst the populace in our search for $1 bills. We found ourselves in a bakery aisle.
Oh, no surprise, you fat ass.
What? We found ourselves in the bakery aisle, and we did something that we don't do. We spent an extra buck. We spent an extra buck to get that of some Dolly Parton brownies. That's right. Now, you might be saying, that doesn't do anything. That's not going to bring her back. We understand that. Her life was so wonderful, so great, that even being able to cherish one more little baking endeavor with that of Debbie doing Dallas, not rewatching that Super Bowl performance, let's be honest. Let's remember how she was. A beautiful person, a beautiful soul that, has gone on to that of what is next. And we got the brownies, okay? We spent the extra buck that we would never do because we're poor. All right? Because they were such a special person that, from what we know, it would just seem like the thing to get. Okay? We're not saying it was. But we did have to stop for a second, at least cover the topic of some of the show. And we hadn't talked about brownies yet. That was a lapse on our part. We should have done it right out of the gate. That's why people came or didn't come here. But yes, may God be with Dolly and her family thereupon where we sit now, and may all eternal greatness go to that of where necessitate. It's not something to laugh at, jerks. We are all one. Well, where we go one, we go all. And see, that's the thing, John Doe. Remember, past, present, future, okay? You're operating on a metric of understanding, and we like that, but you are placated with talking about a finality and a future, and that of a present and a subjective understanding of what the present, in essence, in formalized being is and represents, both metaphysically, theologically, philosophically, and stuff like that. Again, we are not saying that you are far off, okay? Where truly indeed we go one, we go all, but we are not all of one body. For some of that body, dear John Doe, disregards that of its existence. Yes or no? Whence that happens, that of which is cut off, and thusly said body is not said all. Okay? Now, there are things that we refuse to ever get into from a philosophical basis, but if you want to scratch the surface, we will poke our line, okay? We will never bend it or break it, but believe you me, we will let you know that we know what we think that you might know. Believe you me, we entertain not that of different avenues and venues and different streams within which we need not. We're very, very, very particular in that of our cosmological philosophy, all right, especially pertaining to that of theology and this, that, the other. We have entertained that of the questioning and lines and that of any oracle foundation within which we could desire and or deem. While anyone goes to a regular AI and asks it that of its questions, we made our own AI and asked it whatever the fuck we wanted. Okay? Now, subjective, right? How good can one AI be over another? Well, that's a very good question. That's why we've made 5, 6, 7 different iterations of AI. Okay? Most of them are available to that of the public. Yeah, all of them are available to the public. One way, shape, or form, right? All right, hold on. Mark Twain wasn't even his real name. Dude in Italy. Da-da-da-da, Jesus is king. Who's that? Theraldo314 says Jesus is king. Hey, Theraldo, welcome to the show. I know you're probably gone now. Boy, were we rambling for a minute. Yeah, it sucked. I left. Don't forget to downvote on the way out. All right, Jesus is king. Christ is king. Well, Jesus Christ, who's king? I guess we have two kings. Good luck with that one, John Doe. You got two kings fighting you. Christianity and Islam have started every war that there was, so these were religious wars. I don't believe that is correct. I believe that there were some Native American wars and this, that, the other. We also believe, like, the Peloponnesian Wars might have, I don't know, maybe Troy, maybe some of those, like, you know, Greek kind of expeditions. Now, we know that there was obviously, you know, when Islam came and took over Persia and stuff like that. You know, we're not saying that, but, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would venture and say every war. I would say you are incorrect. In fact, I'm guessing the Civil War in the United States, I don't remember a bunch of Islamic, you know, raiders running around with swords going, "Come here, General Lee. We have to go get General Grant." And Grant's like, "F that, I'm going to be president one day. You ain't chopping my head off." We're guessing that Islam did not start the Civil War. Just saying. Now, there was an Islamic slave trade. Well, shit. There was an Islamic slave trade. Who brought... I guess we need to look at the originations then of slavery and go down to every single aspect and component of where it originated from. Because the United States couldn't invent slavery if slavery existed before the United States. We don't want to play devil's advocate, but we'll play Shyzabox's advocate, okay? We're just saying. And we don't justify any of it in any means. None of that is. It's a conversation historically. That is what we do. We are historians and philosophers, and this, that, and the other. What are these dudes doing? Oh, man. Sometimes people interrupt our show. We don't enjoy it. But believe you me, if there is one component, one aspect of that of what can be construed, deemed pertinent to, all right, one's understanding, it's that everyone harbors and holds their own beliefs in that of whatever religious foundation that they harbor and hold that of their beliefs in. Whether they are heathenistic and believe in that of none, or whether they are very, very devout and religious and astute in that of the devotion and worship of another, okay? It doesn't matter if we can all agree to work together on a basic foundational knowledge of what is, what can be created, then we can set aside all the pettiness and do exactly just that. Why subjectively argue and insult and belittle that of whom may believe in a belief system with which and you believe not? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if someone believes Islam. It doesn't matter if someone believes Judaism. It doesn't matter if someone believes Mormonism. It doesn't matter if someone believes Catholicism, Christianity, Protestantism, baptism, all of the ismisms, okay? As long as there is no direct, forced means, okay, exactly of how you came out the gate swinging, trying to force religion is for dummies on all the dummies. You cannot force that state. So as long as no groups of religions try and force themselves over onto that of another religion via any type of warfare or means of that nature, then let them be. Now, equal pushback. I mean, anyone who reads Immanuel Kant and like the proletagmia of metaphysics or anything like that, you know that in essence, a system will push back that of equal measures. Hell, who was it the other day? Someone was playing with us in the chat, and believe you me, we vernacularly play a little better. Bro said Gnosticism. Gnosticism, hold on, we missed that. We're getting to wherever. Hold on. I know we hadn't said it yet, so it's got to be somewhere. Christian, okay, we read that one. According to the Encyclopedia of Wars, hell no. Okay, now, thank you, Real Dio, because believe you me, we didn't think that that was true. Okay, now, we don't have a fact checker and things, and we're not optimized. This channel sucks, okay? But we did theorize that not all of the wars were started that way, because we know that there were, like, you know, wars over here, like Native American wars, and we didn't know, like, the Navajo were Christians and stuff like that, right? I mean, now, you can argue that a forcing thereof, okay, thereafter the introduction and things of that nature, okay, you got argument for you know, we justify not the means of how we got here, but you cannot de-justify what is here because of the means of how it got, okay? No one here is single-handedly in the present responsible for that of what arose, was deduced, was created, what has arisen from that of the past. It is all subjective to that of interpretation. That stack of books we pulled out, anyone can read.
No, I don't have it.
Entropy is represented by that of financial currency. You can get it. We utilize Wheeler's it by bit, okay, for that of the entire intelligence paradox pertaining to that of our book Delectable. Knowledge is free, okay? It's Wheeler's it by bit, okay? Bit is free, knowledge is free. It costs $250. Don't buy it. It's free. We'll give it to you right here. We've given it for free. Now, believe you me, this physical anchor, it's an intelligence paradox, baby. The ripples and waves within which occur, whether seen or not, long-term, through how anything, all right, dissipates unto that of its final resting state. When you have a completely closed Shyzalosophical Godelian loop, it's going to rear its head again. Believe you me, it's pretty hilarious. And not hilarious because you are able to find and point out a bunch of broken metrics. Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment or lack thereof. Everything's fine. What? Poem from the poetry book? Nah, really soon. We're going to wrap it up soon, okay? That's right. Something to celebrate. All right, hold on. Okay, we see something there. Hold on. All right. Gnosticism, there we go, was the true Christianity before they were killed by the Christians. Okay, hold on. Hold on. You can't just blanketedly say Gnosticism therefore was, because no. You must account for pagan practices, pagan ritualistic beliefs, pagan calendars, okay? You cannot just blanketedly say Gnosticism. Gnosticism is more of the unsayable form of what if paganism theoretically could be a more constructed version and formalization of thereof. If you start looking into Gnosticism, you're going to get exactly that reaction that the Real Dio, okay, 314, bro said Gnosticism, okay? You cannot throw Gnosticism out there as a tangible metric of debate. It is an intangible concept, and it is subjective to that of a belief system the same way that a spiritual belief system would reside, theoretically, for philosophical entertainment or lack thereof. Now, we believe Gnosticism is a viable metric and means of descriptor, okay, for that of a versioning of what could be construed as enlightenment. Additionally, we would go as far to say that of an additional correlative synonym, okay, albeit maybe far-fetched in that of its accountings, could be construed as that of divine intervention, okay, divine wisdom. Those times in history where gunpowder was invented, where things came into being that weren't understood via any other means before until an epiphany-like moment existed in that of a foundational structure, adherent, and or belief, okay? The belief thusly came from that of insert, let's not argue about here, Gnosticism, divine intervention, divine wisdom, divine guidance, happenstance, luck, okay, all right, probabilism, probabilistics, probabilities, okay, it doesn't matter what you call it. Gunpowder exists, fire exists, okay, did it really get stolen, fire from the gods, okay, that are the knowledges therein, all right, it's subjective to interpretations, and it doesn't matter what you do, but yeah, you can't use a unformalized, non-tangible component, okay? And we ain't talking about like a religious thing where you're going, when you say Gnosticism, you aren't talking about Gnostics. You're talking about the practice thereof. It's like going to like the physical Catholic Church or Islamic temple or Mormon temple or Jewish synagogue or anything like that, okay? Going to a physical location and then trying to attack the metaphysical foundation. You're literally standing on the foundation and you attack the metaphysical from where it already exists. So it's like your argument to justify for arguing, you're actually standing on the answer. The belief goes into the practice, okay, and it's the uniform thereof. So yeah, when you cite Gnosticism blanketedly, again, a term that we are familiar with, that we actually do like the term. We promise. We've written about it in one or two of our books, surely, all right? Somewhere or another, maybe, probably. I don't know, probably. Probably in lines of change, line in the sand. We're guessing this one. This one's a little harder to come by because, believe you me, theological philosophy is at times a fickle beast. All right, hold on. You mean that different religions started every war? Well, K-money. You can't just blanketly, same way probably you can't say like Jews had started every war. You can't say like Catholics started every war, because that applies to like all of them. You have to say like some individuals may have attributed or led to, because, you know, it wasn't like the group as a whole. So you can have a faction of the state that obviously, and this is again just Shyzabox advocate, okay, you can have a faction of that state that exists within the state that, you know, is what we need to focus on instead of the whole state, okay? Again, it's these substrates, these subsects, and that's where within PDF logic just gets so tripped up because there's so much of it. There's so many accountings thereof, and therefore, I mean, just like when you had brought up Ruby Ridge the other day, right? That is such a delicious restaurant to Google, right? I mean, we like to eat at Ruby Ridge at least 2 or 3 times a week. Now, people might be saying, oh, what kind of food do they have? Well, you'll just have to Google Ruby Ridge and see. Oh, wait, it might be Ruby Tuesday. I don't know. We get those mixed up all the time. Point is that, you know, it can apply to that of where it applies, and you don't want to necessarily blame all for what some may have done or did, okay? But inevitably, with the finger pointing and stuff like that, the wars have already happened, okay? It is, yes, important, the understandings thereof, but to truly bridge that in the gap or whatever, there needs to be that metric of forgiveness and moving forward to where it's like, hey, from here on out, we all on the same page. Any of you step out of line and everybody gonna be upset. Okay? Theoretically. Right? When people are held responsible for that of their actions, when people are held responsible for that of what they do, it is thusly known then where they lie as that of the entity on the basis of being morally good or morally not as good. Theoretically, but you can't have one without the other. So if you want someone with high moral fiber and character, you have the reverse opposite somewhere. All right, bro said Gnosticism. Yes, yes. Fa. Someone's probably calling us fat. Yes, yes. Essentially, yes, some people did, but they're the ones who created those to divide evil. John Doe, we don't want to... Well, hey, arguable, if you say St. Paul, okay, one of the founders of the Catholic Church with his, I guess, position in that of we always mix them up, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, okay, of the two sects of Judaism at the time, okay, the ones that went around and, like, beat and killed and wrecked face to that of the Christians and those with the pagan beliefs or anything that went against that of the Old Testament and that of the law, right? That of what was in place. Right? Now, obviously, when he had his moment of intervention with that of why do you persecute me, stuff like that, all right? Obviously, he flipped and changed, so you can theoretically argue that some foundational basis, and that would be a huge metric thereof, was founded thereof. But to correlate a interwoven war thusly between, we don't see the deduced reasoning behind how warring Bedouin tribes united under that of Muhammad, under that of his beliefs and, systems of visions and things like that, within which the Archangel Gabriel came to him and stuff and gave him his readings that were, written down and things like that. We feel that, if anything, all that's justly needed is the same way there was kind of a reformation to that of Catholicism, okay, when that of, like, the Protestants or, Martin Luther put his 95 Theses or something like that on the church. We feel that theoretically there would be some sort of derivation of Islam that subsectly breaks off, okay, to try and put some more modern twist on the faith or something like that. Now, maybe not, okay? But theoretically, if you westernized a massive versioning thereof, theoretically, okay, there can be argument for a system of unification within which there can be a principled unifying of metrics working towards without a necessitation for a fighting over belief systems therein. Relegate it, under the means and devices of what is subjective entertainment and what is subjective understanding and subjective to that of what knowledge even is. Okay? Mankind can understand knowledge. Mankind can never know knowledge. There's far too much of it out there. Believe you me, we live in PDF logic. We are going to have to go soon-ish, but we're going to get through these really, really fast. All right, hold on. All right, incorrect. Factually, try again, John. I don't have to try again. I know you're the one that's lost. Okay, hold on. See, again, that's a lot of entropy that's being wasted that is accounted for nothing, and literally, we find no argument therein as of yet, aside from different assertions that wars within which have existed are already over, all right? The outcomes are thusly determinately known. Foundationally, how can we use that information, okay, to work together to make things better so that those things don't happen again and so that they are not allowed to happen again? Because they already happened if they happen. We're not arguing that. We're not debating that. Now, some aspects, components, like we said, with the every war, everyone. You can't say everyone, okay? Hatfields and McCoys, they had a little, land feud themselves. Now, obviously, a feud isn't a war. But we're guessing even when the Roman legions were marching against the Germanic tribes of ununified Germany or something like that, probably not a lot of, Islamists running around and stuff like that. I don't know. Theoretically. Maybe they were. Maybe they recruited some tribes and got some warriors and things of that, some mercenaries. Absolutely. Could have. Never know. All right. You said religions created wars. Religious wars account for around 7% of wars ever waged by man. Well, the real DO314, how dare you bring facts? You're cooked, John. What? K-Money, did you cook, chat? We're guessing you did. Thanks for keeping it in check. K-Money's a subscription plus platinum. You go to its operator, Kev, so you start live streaming. Get some more stuff up. Give us some scripification. If you need your car worked on, you go see Roach. Believe you me. But very clearly, you're not religious. Who? We or John? Subjective. You're probably talking to John. You're incredibly ignorant about why you aren't. Google doesn't know anything. That is correct and incorrect. This isn't Google. That is correct. I gave you the source. That is incorrect. Do you think that Google isn't controlled and that you can find real truth outside of Google? That is two things, and they are both true. Do we think Google isn't controlled? That is correct. We do not think Google is controlled. We know Google's controlled by Google. And that you can find real truth outside of Google. We do believe you can find real truth outside of Google. That is also correct. Those are two correct statements. Good job, John. See, we're turning it around. We're all friends now. Bro is crashing out. Shit. Well, I thought we were friends now. We spoke too soon. It was intentionally subjective so that you could not find without discernment the truth. Well, John, you need to be careful about what you're subjectively wanting people to interpret as subjective. Because when you come in blanketedly stating something as a fact, that doesn't seem subjective in nature except for that of one's interpretation thereof, your statement, which would therefore be deemed to not be subjective in that of its intended meaning, but that of how it was intended to be said. Almost like you unsheath that of a sword to poke that of, the bear, to elicit that of the reaction to try and force an enlightenment or response. And believe you me, we utilize that of Shyzabox's witnessed resonantial logic, okay? We use a Shyzabox Laplacian matrix, all right? We utilize Fiedler to reinterpret Landauer to make Landauer disposable logic. We literally use eigenvalues to become the immutable laws of the digital domain within which we adhere and structure that of our Shaw-sealed centered grid to that of the planetary motherboard, and that's of its topological structure that exists naturally. Okay? We don't force information in bits into unstable states because that's where you get that dissipation, that heat, that entropy, okay? We used witnessed resonantial logic, believe you me. We don't force people to buy our books. We tell them not to buy our books. Well, this one. Buy these. Or don't. We don't care. Good old Shyzabox wants for naught. Now, deep down, the humanity in us, okay, the part that will always be, for we are human, wants to be that of the celebrity, that of the rich, that of the powerful, that of the entertaining, all right? And we try and take a deep breath and remove that from our entire logic, because all of that is a construct, okay? We merely seek that of our daily bread, and we try and strive to deliver merely that and that of our doings, okay? We provide math, science, theory, logic, everything that does not belong to us, for it is ordained by insert entity or belief system here as to its existence. We ascribe to not, right, that of another man's ideals or principles or beliefs over that of our own understanding. When we see Landauer, we can view Landauer's disposable logic, even though it's been quantumly, computedly verified, because it only applies to where you force it to apply. Theoretically, philosophical entertainment or lack thereof. We really got to speed this along now. Stop putting in chats. All right, hold on. What's intentionally subjective? What are you talking about? A smiley face, nothing I love more than cooking atheists and Gnostics. Again, I think that Gnosticism is very, very, very misunderstood. And if anyone's a Gnostic now, they probably have like a 15% understanding of what Gnosticism is, theoretically. I mean, you start looking at like Rosicrucians and things of that nature. You start looking at Hermeticisms and all these other like orders and stuff like that. And believe you me, there's some crossover, some stuff like that. But I mean, you know, you got, all sorts of different crazy stuff. But unfortunately, yeah, we can't enter that. Let's burn these along. Let's go. When the atheists and agnostics try another terrible argument, I'll be back. Well, the real audio, 314. Much appreciated, because believe you me, not a lot of people come back. Okay. I'll downvote this once. I better never see it on my feed again, YouTube. Smiley face. Old days, smiley face. Spider-Man. We haven't seen the new one yet. Feel free to ruin it. We're probably not going to watch it till it comes to Disney Plus. Don't stop the rain. Well, you can't, because it comes from the sky. Believe you me, all of those chemtrails, not chemtrails, they probably try. Or at least tell you when the rain should come. Woo! What's this metallic substance beating on my face? It's like rain. I don't like the way it tastes. Theoretically, I don't know. What is this about? Well, Mark, this is about Dolly's brownies, obviously. We've been talking about Dolly Parton, unfortunate passing. Yes. And we're going to have one more for Dolly. Now, the thumbnail kind of looks like we're motorboating the brownies, okay, a little bit. But believe you me, we saw Dolly Parton's beautiful cartoonic-like face sitting in the aisle of the grocery store. We saw the price under it. We knew that Dolly was a little more upscale, a little more expensive, all the while a little more worth it. So we injected that extra little bit of entropy and got some Dolly Parton brownies. Now, we haven't made or eaten them yet, but it's our hope that it affords us one more time to truly do Dallas right. Mark, this episode was horrible. It's a good thing you just got here. Believe you me. Good morning, beautiful. Hey! Good morning. Tattoo Tony, it's for you. It's Roach. Roach, you're a subscriperification plus platinum. Congratulations. Oh, God, take it off. Sorry about that. Todd says, what the F are you even saying? Well, Todd, depends on what time you came in. Did you come in when we were talking about Dolly Parton? When we were talking about reading one of our poems? That's right, we got to do that real quick. Quick, get the negative Joey energy out of here. Takes 3 times, everyone knows that. Then when you have all that negative Joey energy together, all that disgusting filth, excellent, get rid of it. Well, it's not around here anymore, but you're going to want to clean that shit up. Got some Joey lying around. All right, let's see. Whoops. That doesn't go there. All right, light, give me 100, give me 2. What? Oh, we already read that one. I beg to differ. The Joeys find themselves involved in one way or another. K-Money! One can dream to get rid of them. We better sanitize that lens real quick so they don't come back right away. It's like Terminex, you know, it works for about 3 streams, and then we have to liberally apply again. Prevents that metaphysical Joey from, you know, reaping truly what he sowy. If it's from Joey and he tried to sowy, it's a no-y. Disgusting. All right, read it. All right. Poem coming up. This one's going to be really fast because we do got to get out of here, so feel free to leave before us. No, not that one. Here, we're just going to read this one again. We've read it before. That's right. Fantastic. This one's called Socrates. Boss, careful. Looks like hemlock. Looks right. That much is known. Next time around, don't you dare drink. Fight for that. Fight for love, and for that of home. Let not city decide your fate. Roll over, do not do. Poison only rots the mind, killing you throughout. Resist or don't. Poison's bad. That's right, fantastic. You had a great time. All right, hold on. Have a blessed day, Shyza. Hey, Kate Money, thanks a lot. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Be sure everyone takes care of themselves first and foremost. There's only one you. We can't replace you easily by making fake accounts and subscribing to ourselves. Masterful, yes, thank you, Roach. Sorry that we have to cut out right when you got here, but believe you me, Shyzabox does shit sometimes. Take care of yourselves first. There's only one you. Take care of anyone else who really needs it second. Take care of anyone else you like or love more than us. Unlikely. Maybe. You got anything left over at the end of the day, we'll take it. Beggars can't be choosers. Because remember, we don't want your subscription, we want your money. Download the shit out of this. Go to Cashapp and give us a buck, or go to Amazon.com, search Shyzabox books, and buy one of them. Get off our lawn!